Here are some of the things I learned traveling from Nigeria to about 7 countries this year, 2024. I traveled from Abuja to Doha, from Doha to Manila, and from Manila to Port Moresby. From Abuja again, I traveled through Addis to Maseru. I also traveled from Abuja to Lilongwe through Addis. And finally, from Abuja through Addis and through Dubai, I arrived at Kathmandu, which was my final country. The first country I visited this year is Qatar. And in Qatar, just like in almost every Arabian country, I learned that it is possible to blend modern ways with traditional culture. One moment you're seeing like skyscrapers, and the next you're seeing a very vibrant souk market. We should never discard our good traditions to embrace modern lifestyle. We may lose our identities. That's one lesson I learned from Qatar. In Papua New Guinea, I visited the capital, Port Moresby, and also the Western Highlands. The major highlight for me was when I had the privilege of having lunch with a village community living on the mountains in Simbu. We prepared the food the local way and we had a feast. This is an experience I won't be forgetting anytime soon. I also bought something from Papua which I really loved, but at some point it got damaged. That was the everlasting flowers, if you remember or followed my post that time. In PNG, I learned that people own the lands, not government. A community once withheld water supply to the capital city because the government did not pay its fees. As a Nigerian, this was a very big thing for me. I found it very strange. Next country I visited was Lesotho. I stayed at the capital in Maseru and also visited 6 of the 10 districts. Lesotho is one of the very few countries in Africa where snow falls in winter. They are very happy people. I learned to say a popular quote in Lesotho, Serame Hasea Pelo or Hasea Pari. It means you don't dress for the cold, but you eat for the cold. The next country I visited was Malawi. Malawi felt like home. Their common food there was like the tuwon masara we eat in the northern part of Nigeria, or maybe like semu. The people are warm and very patient. I visited at the time that they lost their vice president in a plane crash just near my location at the time. It was such a sad time across the country. As a Nigerian, I never knew how people could love a leader that was in government. The closest I've seen was when we lost our president, Umar Musa Yar'Adua. But that was nothing close to what I experienced in Malawi when they lost their vice president. People were genuinely sad. Nepal was the last country I visited. In Nepal, I was in Kathmandu and also I traveled to Madhya province for a day's trip. I spent most of my time in Dangadi, the capital city of Sudupashim province. It shares a border with India. In Nepal, one vital lesson I learned was that I should not be quick to judge people. The first time I visited Nepal in 2022, I was scared the way people were staring at me everywhere I went. I knew it was because there weren't many black people around, so I was always standing out. This made me not to really go out and engage with people and meet new friends. I still made some friends, but very few. The language barrier too did not help. But when I visited this year, I mistakenly engaged with some people that were staring at me. I said a simple hello and I realized how everything changed about my perspective. Those people smiled back at me and then we started having a short conversation. I this kept happening everywhere I went to with all the people staring at me. Once people stare at me, I just approach them and say hello and we become friends. I learned that sometimes I have to change something in me to bring about a bigger change outside. I met lots of people and made more friends this year in Nepal.